about the different kinds of blood vessels. Okay. Priscilla, can you please read out the points which is mentioned in blood?
Yes, ma'am. Blood. It is a connective tissue in fluid form. An adult human has around 5.5 liters of blood. A red fluid flows in the body. It supplies food and oxygen to every body cell. It removes waste from the cells. It regulates body temperature. It protects against infection.
Correct. Thank you. So, Priscilla, can you explain the first point?
Ma'am, connective tissue is a tissue that connects different different organs, ma'am. And blood is a fluid connective tissue, ma'am.
Okay.
Which means that it is fluid because its matrix is in fluid.
Okay, fine. So basically what you mean to say is that we all know that blood is made out of cells, right? Blood is made out of cells and there are thousands and thousands of cells. So when lot of cells join together, they are known as tissues. So blood can be called a tissue, correct? Now, why a connective tissue? Because it connects maybe one cell to the other, one tissue to the other, one organ to the other, one organ system to the other organ system. So it is known as a connective, and it's a group of cells together, so it is known as a tissue. And of course it is in fluid form. Blood is a liquid, right? It is found in a fluid form. That's why it is called a connective tissue in fluid form. So are the 3 points clear to all of you? Is there any doubt? Why is blood called a connective tissue? Okay, I'm so sorry, I did not see the questions which Unmana was asking. A semi-permeable membrane. First, let me tell you what is permeable, right? Permeable means, anything that permits or allows to pass through. For example, let me give you the example of a door, right? For example, a door is permeable, right? So it will allow people to come in, it will allow people to go out. This is permeable. If I say semi-permeable, semi means half. It will allow few people to enter, it will allow few people to go out. So if I have to say semi-permeable, then maybe I will use, how do I explain? When you have entered the park, you must have seen these kind of revolving gates, right? Or maybe, so basically semi-permeable would mean they would restrict the entry of certain things, but they would allow the entry of certain things. They would not allow everyone to come in and go out. There would be a security guard here near the door, which will say you are allowed to enter, you are not allowed to enter. Similarly, you are allowed to go out, you are not allowed to go out. That is called semi-permeable. Semi means half, partially. Okay, so coming to the next point is, also I could explain semi-permeable, Unmana, that for example, if this is the cell membrane, right? So they will have this tiny, tiny pores. They will have this tiny, tiny gaps through which actually things can go in and things can come out. For example, when we draw the cell wall, it is like this, continuous. But actually it is not continuous, it is broken in between. So from the broken area, certain things can enter and certain things can come out. It is not like a continuous wall, it is like a broken wall. So from here things can go in and come out. That is meaning of semi-permeable. Okay. So an adult has around 5.5 liters of blood. Please remember this, 5.5 liters of blood. Every human being has it. And remember I told you about water. If a person has less water, what is blood? Blood is basically, there is a, a fluid kind of thing called plasma. On that, there are certain red blood cells and there are certain white blood cells which are flowing. This is basically blood. Now, if somebody drinks less water, what will happen? The plasma will get restricted, right? The red blood cell, white blood cells, they will not be able to flow properly in the plasma. So, they may say that, the blood will get thicker. Obviously, because red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, everything is made out of water. So if the person drinks less water, the blood will also get affected. It might not happen in 1 day, 2 days, but it can happen over a period of weeks. It will not be able to transport or flow properly inside the arteries and veins, right? So to maintain the 5.5 liters of blood, the fluid balance, there's something called the fluid balance. The fluid balance of our body needs to be maintained by consuming a lot of water. There is no harm in having 6 liters of water, but there will be harm if somebody has 3 liters of water every day. More the better, not less, but more is better. Correct? But excess of water obviously is not good. It will cause retention of water retention, which is also not good. For example, if somebody has 10 liters of water every day, that is also not good. That will cause retention of water. Matlab, the cells, the organs, it will retain water, and the face will have a swollen face, the feet will be swollen. It is known as edema. All the organs will swell up because of excess water. So excess of nothing should be done. A red fluid flows in the body, right? So there's a question that I have. Anna, why is our blood red in color?
Because it has hemoglobin.
You just replied plasma is clear, straw color liquid portion of blood that remains after blood cells. Very good. Yes, excellent. So that's why I was asking, and very surprisingly, the answer question went to you. Why then? What gives the red color to our blood? If plasma is yellow in color, little light brown straw color.
Ma'am, because of hemoglobin. Ma'am, hemoglobin has the central of iron, which is red.
Correct, correct. So basically, what is heme? When they say hemoglobin, what is heme?
Iron.
Iron, correct, very good. And if you have seen, actually iron is a little brownish in color, right? It is a little brownish in color. So a little bright brown in color, right? And also if we say red blood cells, the red blood cells are red in color because they carry the protein called hemoglobin, which are globins. They are basically a kind of protein. Yeah.
Ma'am, why does it mean that, why is hemoglobin so good for our health?
See, just imagine.
Or I hold it somewhere like the darker color of blood you have, the better it is. So why like that? The darker red color of blood.
I don't know if the darker color of blood is good or bad. I really do not know. But there is a particular red color which is supposed to be considered to be a healthy color. Why do they say iron is good for our body? Because, you actually answered your own question. The thing is that, okay, which are the fruits or food that is rich in iron?
Ma'am, spinach.
Yes, very good. Spinach is a rich source of iron. Apart from that, we have apple, banana, guava.
Ma'am, they contain iron.
Which one?
All those fruits which you said.
Yeah, apple, banana, guava has iron. For example, whichever fruit.
Ma'am, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yeah, see, whichever fruit you cut it and keep it open, right? And you'll see in a few minutes it will turn a little brownish, blackish in color, right? Whichever fruits or vegetables, even potato, is very rich in iron. Why? Because iron has this capacity when it gets in touch with the air, when it comes in contact with the air, it turns a little brownish. That is, a process called oxidation. Yes, RBC means red blood cell, and red because of the heme portion. Heme is the iron portion. Okay. Now, the heme that is there.
Iron is very corrodable. It easily reacts with oxygen.
Correct. So that's the process called oxidation. Just keep a iron bar in water, or maybe just keep it in khula air without painting it. You will see within a few weeks or a few days it will get rusted, because iron is very corrosive, right? Similarly, the fruits that I was talking about, apple, banana, they say you should never have cut fruits, because iron, if it gets oxidized, it's not that great for our body. So you should consume fruit as soon as you cut and eat it, consume it as soon as possible. Right. Now coming to why we should have iron. The only reason why we should have iron is basically you consume the apple or the spinach or the banana, it goes into the digestive tract, it goes till the small intestine. There, the iron portion is extracted and it helps in forming the heme portion of hemoglobin. Right? So hemoglobin is basically a combination of heme, which is iron, and globin, which is a protein. Both of them bind together to form hemoglobin, because water also has oxygen in it. Added, it has 2 molecules of hydrogen. So water will corrode faster. So have you understood why they say that you need to have more iron to have good blood in your body? If somebody is anemic, yeah.
As Bhavya wrote that iron rusts because it comes in contact with oxygen and water. So then, ma'am, why doesn't this happen with the blood?
So where does it come in contact with it does come in contact with oxygen, but this is in the form of, very good question, Anna. I really like your question. But this is actually not present in the form of individual heme. It is binded with a protein called globin. So it doesn't allow oxygen to oxidize itself because it is bonded with a protein.
Yes, ma'am, that's why it forms oxyhemoglobin.
Correct. That's why,
and carbaminohemoglobin.
Correct. So when it, combines with oxygen, it does not get rusted on its own. Rather, it forms a new molecule, which is oxyhemoglobin, as very correctly said by Priscilla.